The nurses in the Women's Center at High Point Regional offered exceptional care. I felt like I could ask questions. They went above and beyond, getting me coffee in the morning during my bed rest day, which is definitely not something that's demanded, not even asked for, but it was something that was very much appreciated in making, your stay more homey.
Dr. Tyson and his staff at High Point Regional have been excellent, and have had me and well, I look at them as family, because they treated me as family and took care of me.
My experience at High Point Regional has been outstanding. I mean, all they've done, went out of their way to help me and stick by me. For 9 years, they've been right beside me the whole way.
From the get-go, the experience there was wonderful, and I said, if I have to do it a second and a third time, that's where I'm going to go, High Point Regional.
Can I tell the story? The rest of the story? When Dr. McFarland told Pick that he had to have quadruple bypass surgery, we tried to delay it because our daughter was going to be married in 17 days. And so we kind of dickered with her, said, can we wait or not? And she said, no, Jane, this is very serious. He needs to have surgery. So he got in the hospital 11 days before our daughter was to be married. So it was an exciting experience to see how all of the doctors and nurses and staff rallied around us and encouraged us and pushed us toward that day. Just let us know that he was going to make it. We had a little flip chart in his hospital room that said, get me to the church on time. And every day we would flip over one day less. And so the nurses would come in and say, how many days do we have to go? So they just shared in our excitement over knowing that he would be out and he would be able to walk down the aisle.
But I was just at work and waiting on a client that was running late, and started feeling like my heart was racing, and that's an issue I've had. My heart was stopping all the time, and I was flatlining, which was causing the seizures. But I also have a problem with my heart racing extremely fast. And this day, I think they called on my pacemaker, it gotten up to 260 at rest. So anyway, I started feeling shaky, cold sweats, and I decided to go sit down, and I don't think I made it 10 yards before I face planted in the floor. But I woke up, and it was just like the other episodes I had had for years, but there were people all around me, and I could feel people touching my arms, but I could see people touching my legs, and I could not feel it. So time went by, 15, 20 minutes, still nothing. And I said, something's not right. And so come to find out, they finally figured out. They just kept thinking it was a lasting side effect of passing out or hitting the floor. And but after a day or so, it's still nothing. They realized I had had a spinal stroke. And so I ended up spending, almost 10 days, I guess, here in High Point Regional.
As a mother, there are concerns, and you feel bad, and you wish that this wasn't happening to your child. Although it was not the most intense of all cardiac surgeries, it was still cardiac surgery, and it's still very concerning as a mother for her child.
I had doctors that I've had in the past that were even coming by to visit just to check on me and just to make sure I was okay. And I'm sorry, but I'll never forget Dr. Tyson coming in the middle of the night, and he had tears in his eyes, and he said, I'm so sorry that I haven't done more to keep this from happening to you. And I just was amazed, because Dr. Tyson's not an emotional guy anyway, but it's just, they checked in on me every day, and anyway.
The staff at Hayworth Cancer Center at High Point Regional really go into action. It is truly like an army fighting the enemy. They come at you from all directions with help, with tests, with plans, with protocols, with calendars, and while it's overwhelming, they do their best to ease you in to battle. because that's really what you're doing. You're going into battle against this disease.
I've started rehab here at the High Point Regional Rehab Center right after. It was probably only a couple of weeks before I started in therapy here, and right off, we hit it off pretty good right off the bat. They give me a hard time a lot, but they're good to me. They threw me a surprise birthday party for my birthday. I was just crying, but I have a big family here, so it's one of those situations where I always know if there's anything I ever needed that I will never, when it comes to my health and my care, I'll never want for anything when I come here.
Well, I chose High Point Regional's Heart Center because I knew, being an employee of High Point Regional, I knew our reputation. I knew the reputation of the Heart Center, and I knew the reputation of our doctors. And that all of that combined, it did put me at ease.
I would come up here sometimes, and they would come in here, 4 or 5 of them, with the people that work here would come in, and they'd all have these ideas. And I would sit there and think, since you saw me last, you've been at home thinking about this and like thinking about me and ideas of what you can do to help me. And I don't know, to have somebody care that much is a big deal, especially when you can't really care for yourself. You can't take care of yourself at the time. So, very safe feeling.
But the special touches that I received from the Cancer Center staff, the hospital staff, made the journey one of hope. Where else would you go on Christmas Eve when you're hemorrhaging and be admitted to the hospital and receive communion that night? Where else would you have staff members just sit down and talk with you because they know how hard it is to be in your position? Sorry, there's some of these things I haven't thought about in a long time.
The staff at High Point Regional Rehab Center, they've become like a second family to me. And if I can say anything to them, thank you seems so insufficient at this point, but there aren't really words that exist that I could use to describe just all they've done.
I feel strongly also that if it wasn't for the care that I received at High Point Regional and the staff at High Point Regional, I would not be able to take my next step in life. And I'm back to playing golf and enjoying life and doing the things I did before.
What I really love about High Point Regional is that it's community-based and it's so close. You get that small town feel at the hospital, yet it's nationally renowned, and that is what you want in your physician care, is somebody who is ranked high on these charts. You want the best care.
The experience was one that I actually share with a lot of women who are pregnant. I usually ask where they're gonna have their baby, and I usually tell them of my experience at High Point Regional. And so I've had tons of women that I've sent there so far. Great experience.
I realized how lucky I was, even in that moment, to have survived. But I don't believe I would have had it not been for the staff of High Point Regional, both with their professionalism and health care and with the emotional investment they made in me, not simply as a patient, but as a family member.
Before he had his surgery, I just thought that High Point Regional was just a little local hospital. I didn't know the quality care that we would receive there. But after his surgery, we found out that it was in the top 50 cardiovascular hospitals in the country, and it's the top cardiovascular hospital in our state. So we were just thrilled to know that our hospital was a Class 1 hospital rather than just a little hometown hospital. So that was a delightful experience, and we recommend to all our friends now the fine hospital and the fine care that they will receive there.
We are blessed to have High Point Regional here. I think some people don't realize the scope of the care for areas like cancer care, that you can get that at home. That while the major medical centers are great in what they offer, a hospital that's local holds the key to so many of the treatments that we need.
I am living proof
I am living proof
We're living proof of total care.
of total care.
Of total care at High Point Regional.
I am living proof of total care at High Point Regional.